remains of missing soldiers finally arrive in Port Moresby. WEWAC establishes District Development Authority.
Walk from government, but you will walk one time.
And a test of strength for the PNG boxing team.
This is National MTV News with Mary Bartulo.
Good evening. Thanks for joining me for Sunday's news. It was a solemn homecoming for 3 of our fallen heroes today. The remains of the soldiers listed missing in action on Bougainville were accorded a true military welcome at the Papua New Guinea Defence Force Air Transport Wing.
After 19 years, the remains of late Corporal Horace Marco Mino, late Private Jimmy Chula and late Private Raymond Waya has finally arrived. Their caskets were carried by their comrades from the Alpha Company 1RPIR on 22nd October 1996. These fallen heroes were listed missing in action in North Bougainville. Contact was established in 2010 with the ex-combatants to identify their remains. Forensics from the Australian Defence Force helped in identifying their bodies, which led to the recovery process. ABG President Dr. John Mommis, who escorted the remains, handed over the soldiers' barracks to the Deputy Prime Minister Leo Dion, signifying the handing over of the remains to the Papua New Guinean government. He commended the soldiers for their bravery in bringing lasting peace to Bougainville. Deputy Prime Minister Leo Dion thanked the autonomous Bougainville government for allowing the repatriation. He was full of praise for the service of these fallen heroes. The fallen soldiers will be accorded a full military funeral tomorrow at the Tarama Military Barracks. Mickey Cavera, National MTV News.
WEWAC district in East Sepik Province is the first district in the country to have its own management and implementation plan for its District Development Authority, or DDA. The setup of the DDA will allow for districts and local level governments to be more effective in service delivery.
The historic day for WEWAC district in East Sepik Province started with traditional sing-sing, leading the delegates into the launching of its district's development authority. Local MP Jim Simatab, Intergovernment Relations Vice Minister Joe Sungi, and East Sepik Governor Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare were present to witness and officiate the launching. The management and implementation plan of its DDA have made WEWAC district the first district to have a plan to coordinate and monitor the flow of funds and government services. East Sepik Governor Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare said it's a huge stepping stone for WEWAC district and East Sepik Province. However, he challenged the national government to be committed to all 89 districts in the country.
I mean, good pasin, walk from government, but you will walk one time. That's all. Suppose people along province is sing out long you, people are like in this la, you are long this walk, people walk him, give him people.
WEWAC MP and CS Minister Jim Simatab said the management and implementation plan are focused on setting a clear direction for the DDA of WEWAC district. Simatab said the plan is an assessing tool that will see services being delivered more effectively.
That when we launch this program, we also have an implementation plan that will guide our civil servants, that will guide our partners, our business partners, all our stakeholders, Lo Province, Lo Sawe, Lo Wanem plan, Lo Wanem aspirations, Wanem vision, where we as a district want to go forward.
To make district, you are all prepared. You look at district development plan, finish staff. Now you look at the management and implementation plan, the staff. So you are well in advance.
The official launch saw the district's LLG presidents being sworn in as new board members of the DDA. And the management and implementation plan given to Intergovernment Relations Vice Minister Joe Sungi to be presented to the national government. Stanley Ovett Jr., National MTV News.
The first woman to win a male-dominated constituency seat in the autonomous Bougainville government is Josephine Getsi. Mrs. Getsi defeated candidates contesting the Pate constituency, ousting male members who have dominated that seat in the last 10 years. Fabian Hakalitz files this report from an exclusive interview with a new ABG member.
Josephine Getsi has made history that will go down in Bougainville's books as the first woman of the autonomous region of Bougainville declared a constituency member, a seat that has been dominated by men in the last 2 elections. Despite 3 women's reserve seats, Getsi contested the constituency race, setting precedents for gender equality in politics. From Hapan village Solos in Buka, Getsi is an educationist that nurtured her confidence in leadership. Her observations and experiences on the last 2 houses prompted her to contest, supported both by men and women.
I also convinced people that if I was able to shape people in the Department of Education, bringing down the services as elementary schools to the areas they wanted to, then I should do the same thing in politics.
Women bring changes starting in family units, then communities. That's Getchi's campaign platform. But first, integral human development, following the civil war in Bougainville, then empowerment.
This is a very big step forward for me, but I feel that I'm really eager to learn, and at the same time try to help my people in Bougainville and my constituency as a whole.
The third house saw many women contesting. Figures released by the Bougainville Electoral Commission shows 11 in constituency seats and 22 in regional seats, North 10, Central and South 6 each. Fabian Hakalitz, National MTV News.
International Yoga Day was celebrated in massive numbers by residents of Port Moresby. Incorporated with National Capital District Governor Powis Pakop's health initiative Walk for Life campaign, thousands of city residents woke before dawn and walked from Jack Piddick Park in Moresby's northeast along the freeway and up Burns Peak before trekking to Ella Beach for a morning of yoga information and displays.
It was a massive crowd of faithful Walk for Life supporters. Men, women and children from all walks of life. Some regular Walk for Life participants, others yoga converts. The morning walk was led by NCD Governor Powis Pakop and another Walk for Life advocate, Indian High Commissioner Madhava Chandra. Up Burns Peak, down to Konedobu, past the Crown Plaza and to the IEA TAFE College grounds. United Nations Resident Country Coordinator Roy Trivedi told over 5,000 people the reasons for the UN General Assembly unanimously voting to devote June 21st as the International Day for Yoga.
Today, we are here to celebrate the first ever International Day of Yoga. This was proclaimed the 21st of June as the International Day of Yoga by the UN General Assembly, Resolution 69131. Yoga has been recognized to have holistic benefits for the health and well-being of citizens throughout the world, regardless of race, gender, religion, ethnicity, strength, age, or ability of a person.
The Indian community and devout yoga advocate from Yoga Unites PNG, Fazila Bazari, and her team of yoga devotees led exercises and acrobatic displays. Indian High Commissioner to PNG, Madhava Chandra, emphasized the importance that yoga can play in every person's life.
Well, yoga benefits you in lots of ways. It's not a simple exercise. In fact, it's not an exercise at all. It is how you look at mind, body and soul. It brings about mental peace, it brings about harmony between mind and body and soul.
And NCD Governor Powis Pakop explained how he accidentally discovered yoga and how he has now become a strong supporter of its use to keep the residents of NCD and PNG healthier, both in mind and body.
For giving us in PNG and of course the world this gift of life and life's wellness and happiness called yoga. I came into contact with yoga rather accidentally. As you all know, our participants for Walk for Life, we invited Yoga Unites PNG to join us on the assumption that it's going to be a show. we didn't know that they want to take us into yoga. Thanks to Fazila, we are now some yoga enthusiasts.
Neville Choi, National MTV News.
You're watching National MTV News. More stories when we come back. Welcome back to the news. The West Sepik Provincial Health Authority has celebrated its first anniversary. Various health promotional activities were initiated in Vanimo town as part of the commemorative celebrations. Chairman of the West Sepik Provincial Health Authority, Gerald Gubon, described the provincial health authorities as a defining reform for the health system in the country.
The West Sepik Provincial Health Authority was established on the 10th of June 2014. This year, the authority marked its first anniversary by initiating over a week-long of good health activities. The events began with the cleaning of Vanimo town by all members of the hospital staff. The Health Promotion and Healthier Lifestyle Initiative was later launched. Gerald Gubon, chairman of the West Sepik Provincial Health Authority, commended the national government for introducing the provincial health authorities in several provinces in the country. Mr. Gubon, however, said there is more to be done in the rural districts where health indicators are concerning, especially when it comes to maternal mortality and child mortality, where the numbers remain high and the challenges equally daunting. The West Sepik Provincial Health Authority is now focused on changing the poor health indicators within the next 5 years. Deli Waigeno, National MTV News.
The New Ireland Provincial Assembly has supported Lihir landowners in the recent dispute with Mineral Resources Authority and Newcrest Mining Limited. The Assembly condemned the actions of MRA and says Lihir issues must be addressed. New Ireland Governor Sir Julius Chan called on the mine developer and state agency to resolve the matters in a rational manner.
In a meeting held, the New Ireland Provincial Assembly passed resolutions for mine developer Newcrest and Mineral Resource Authority to consider. Key resolutions include endorsing of NI Governor's letter to Prime Minister regarding Lihir issues, state to compensate landowners for removing gorgor or traditional taboo, immediate removal of police mobile personnel on Lihir, and appointment by National Court for an accredited mediator. New Ireland Governor Sir Julius Chan said the gorgor placed at the mine sites has no threat, but was an invitation to allow proper dialogue to resolve concerns for resource owners. He condemned MRA for sending police mobile squad to the island and make arrests. Chen is also disappointed as to why the chief executive of Newcrest refused to attend a recent meeting for better understanding between stakeholders. Governor Chen said the state must be proactive in addressing landowners' concern without hesitation. On June 6th, traditional gorgor plants were placed on the mine site as landowners want resolutions of the Integrated Benefits Package Agreement and an outstanding Memorandum of Understanding. Tekla Gunga, National MTV News.
The Caritas Technical Secondary School in the nation's capital celebrated its 20th cultural show yesterday. Students, parents, friends and the general public converged at the school grounds to celebrate the anniversary of the annual cultural show.
Students from the Caritas Technical Secondary School were all draped in gorgeous traditional attire yesterday to mark the 20th annual cultural show. The 20th anniversary of the cultural show was themed Cultural Heritage, Our Pride. Director of the all-girls Caritas Technical Secondary School, Sister Florentina Cho, said PNG's cultures are unique and need to be passed on to the younger generations.
Preserve our heritage, which is a really unique culture, but diverse, but it's unity.
Sister Florentina said that the annual cultural show also helps with the students' learning.
Again, it helps our learning and interwoven together with the academic skills and technical skills and with the cultural heritage like this, with the truth value, so that students will interwoven together with their learning
Apart from the cultural dances from each province in the country, the school also held the Miss Caritas Quest, which runs alongside the cultural show. Delhi Waigeno, National, MTV News.
Ahead in sports, highlights of the PNG versus Queensland Boxing Challenge. Details after the break.
Tukai Sports.
Welcome to Trugai Sports. Tests for the Pacific Games venues continued this weekend with the Taurama Aquatic Centre venue test today. The general public was given free entry into the world-class complex to watch Team PNG athletes trial the new venue.
The national volleyball, basketball, swimming, taekwondo and karate teams all took the courts, pool and floor to have a feel of the venue to be used during the games.
Yeah, this facility will contain up to, we can hold up to about 3,000 people at any one time.
The general public was also granted free access to have a peek of the newly built Taurama Aquatic Centre today.
I think the venue is pretty good, pretty impressive, the quality of the venue, and it's very good to see a lot of people coming up to show interest there. And I think it's going to be a good development for our nation as a whole, for the sporting, for our country.
The Taurama Aquatic Centre has a 25-meter warm-up pool and a standard 50-meter swimming pool. The test today was also used to monitor the movement of spectators in and out of the venue, as well as the park and ride system, which will be used due to restricted parking at the Taurama Aquatic Centre. Now, as you can see, Port Moresby residents have turned out in numbers for the testing of the Taurama Aquatic Centre. Now, the first test was done last weekend at the Sir John Guy Stadium, and continuous testing will be done on various venues in the lead-up to the games. Dion Kombang, National, MTV Sports.
In round 15 of the Interest Super Cup, the SP-PNG Hunters have secured another win against Tweed Heads Seagulls 32 points to 24. This is the Hunters' 7th win in a row after coming off an impressive performance in Port Moresby last week. This now puts the Hunters in 3rd place on the ladder with 24 points, behind Ipswich Jets in 2nd place and the Townsville Blackhawks in the lead of the competition with 26 points. The fight night held yesterday at the Lamana Hotel attracted many boxing fans and followers. Last night's bouts featured fighters from Queensland, Australia, who fought the PNG national boxing team for the Pacific Games. The boxing team returned from Baguio City in Philippines after 2 months of training for the fight night.
Going to be absolutely
There was a total of 11 bouts last night. The first was the 49 kg division between Charlie Keama and Australia's Josh English. English is the 49 kg Queensland champ. Charlie put up a good fight, but it wasn't enough to secure a win.
the blue corner, Josh English.
The first fight between the ladies was in the 51 kg division, which saw PNG's Philo MacGyver take on Queensland's Sheneka Johnson. After 8 minutes of 4 rounds of exciting boxing, a split decision between the judges was made and the bout went in favour of the Queenslander. The super heavyweight fight for the night was in the 91 kg plus division between PNG's Vincent Cora in the blue corner and Australia's Justice Hooney in the red corner. The heavyweights went at each other in the first 2 rounds. In the 3rd round, Justice Hooney capitalized on the tired Vincent and snuck out a win. In the women's 60 kg, Rafaela Baki took on young Sky Nicholson in an entertaining frenzy. Both girls went at each other in an equally matched fight. After the final round, a split decision was made by the judges that went Sky Nicholson's way.
Blue corner, Sky Nicholson.
In the 75 kg, PNG's Jonathan Keama hammered his way through Clay Waterman. The bout was stopped in the 2nd round. Waterman could not continue due to injury, declaring Keama the winner. The Bougainvilleans in the PNG team, Henry Oomings and Thaddeus Katoa, also won their bouts as they put on an extremely entertaining fight against the Queenslanders. The final match, which was also the quickest bout, so the referee stopped the match in the very first round. PNG captain Tom Boga threw knockout punches at opponent Ben Bowes, resulting in minor concussions, having the ref stop the match.
The blue corner, Tom Boga.
The fight night turned out to be a success with Telecom PNG, Lamana and other business houses sponsoring some of the bouts. Elijah Levette, National MTV Sports.
And that wraps up our sports news. I'll be back with the weather details. Stay tuned.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
A look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the New Guinea Islands region. Lorengau cloudy, mostly fine in Kavieng and Kimbe, fine in Kokopo and Rabaul, and mostly fine in Buka as well. And that has been the news, sports and weather for tonight. Be sure to watch MTV World News coming up next. On behalf of the MTV News team, pleasant viewing. Good night.